Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava chapter 8, Jnana Khandana, where 759.
59.
Yes.
Oh, okay. 63.
So, in the previous chapter, he denied ignorance, meaning there is nothing called ignorance. And now he is going to deny that there is nothing called knowledge also. Self is not self is not dependent on removal of ignorance or attainment of knowledge. Self is self-existing. Reality is ever. Because we have got what you call an instrument called mind, which is either knowledgeable or ignorant. And because we think that we have to remove ignorance in order to gain knowledge, but what is that knowledge? That knowledge is also thought knowledge. So, this truth is not dependent on a removal of ignorance nor dependent on attainment of knowledge. It is self-existing. So, do we need to study the scripture? Yes and no. See? So, why are we studying?
To gain knowledge.
No. So that we can understand that we have to give up both and not be affected by both. Huh? Did we start this chapter last time?
I think we did. I think there are a couple of pages.
In the
Maybe.
I didn't find those.
Yeah.
Last.
Oh, yes. We are on page 764, verse number 2. That's what we are doing. So in the first verse we saw that my essential being, just as there is no ignorance, so also there is no knowledge. Revered Gurudeva has made me unbecome to be myself. Becoming happens when we consider ourselves through thoughts to be someone. So I am a father, mother, daughter, sister because through the thoughts only you can be that, isn't it? I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. Again, it's through the thoughts. But the self is not through the thoughts. You cannot say I am the self. If you say I am the self, you are still in the mind. But the self is independent. And there it was told that without the Guru, this unbecoming is not possible. Why? Because without a Guru, because we can very easily fall into the trap of objectifying the truth. So you are not caught up in the world, you are not caught up in the senses, you are not caught up in anything. You have given up more majority except one thought in your mind. And what is that? You are saying, I am the reality. I am the reality. And you are thinking that reality is an experience, or that the statement is Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. But in that last thought, if we are objectifying the Brahman, objectifying the reality, the truth, then we are still caught up in the mind. And to go beyond that, the teacher, some guru will help you to take you across that. That some guru, it can be in the physical form, it can be the grace from within, it's always the grace. Your efforts cannot take you beyond your thoughts. Yesterday, when we were doing Bhagavad, a good thought came. Guru teaches us how to put efforts in life. First stage. Teacher teaches us how to put efforts in the right direction and how to put efforts. That means for a lazy person, realization is not possible. So you do sadhana, you do yoga, you do contemplation, you do focusing your mind, you think in the correct way, study the scriptures, you're after it, with faith. And the second thing he teaches is that by your efforts, nothing can be gained in life. So first is, you have to put efforts. Second thing he teaches is, only by your efforts, things cannot be gained in life. You require things are gained in life by the grace of the Lord. But how will the grace come? Only when you put the efforts. And when you put the efforts, you will come to realization, or you come to a point of effortlessness. That's when the grace starts flowing. So both things. He teaches you how to be busy, how to put efforts, not to be a lazy person, but at the same time having this faith inside that whatever realization, understanding, conviction, the movement forward, abidance, all this will happen only by the grace, not so that the student does not get the arrogance of his own efforts. And that is why we need, then it was told, in this way the Gurudeva has made me unbecome in order that I may be myself. One unbecomes by making the highest sacrifice of one's individuality, by accepting the good and the bad with the same reverential attitude as Lord Rama did. Once this surrender comes, then one can fully understand with what Jnaneshwar Maharaj says about his Guru. After the Guru revealed my essential nature to me by his grace, I thought, I have now become realized. What do I look like now? So when the teacher gave him, his Guru is his teacher. And who is his teacher? His elder brother, Nivrittinath. So he has given him the grace and he thought that he is realized. Then what is the vision after realization? So here he says, Pari am hi amha aho, te kaise paho javo, tava kaya ki ze thavo, la zize aisa. He says, how is being apart from becoming? To see this, when I tried and failed, I felt shy. That is, the relative I disappeared before the absolute I. When I discovered myself, I wanted to know what this self-realization meant, how this being is different from becoming. This is all our question also. It's not only his question. How is being different from becoming? How is the self different from all that there is? On one hand we say truth is everything. On one hand we are saying give up becoming, be, and on the other hand we are saying this self alone is all the roles that you are playing. Isn't it? So here he says, In knowing, there is always knower known duality. Whenever you know something, where do you know? In your mind. When you know in the mind, there is knower known duality. Therefore, when I try to be the knower and I try to know myself, it is a frustrating impossibility because I, the knower, and I, the known, have become one. The knower as well as the known disappear, and knowledge without the knower alone remains. Meaning, this we have discussed before. The subject thought can form in our mind only as subject when subject is thinking of some object. But in this case, the object is the I, so I is thinking about I. It's a thought. A thought is formed. I am thinking about you. It will lead to more thoughts. I am thinking about myself. Not as body, not as mind, not as thoughts, not as intellect. I am looking at the nature of this I. And everything has been worked out. But how can the subject contemplate on the object called the subject? How can I contemplate on the object called I? When that happens, this example was given. When the eyes, Jnaneshwar Maharaj only gave this example, when the eyes attempt to look at themselves, right now they are looking outwards. Similarly, the eye is also looking outwards and creating knowledge. This is Louis, I know Radha, I know Sofa, I know this, I know that. The eyes are also seeing this, that, everything. But if we make the attempt of making the eyes look at themselves, all the multiplicity vanishes. Similarly, when we have done everything that is required, already the mind is empty, but the last little bit is left. And what is that? The thought that I am me. In that moment, even the last thought that I have to seek myself, I am me, this thought doesn't, because we are addicted to thinking for knowledge, therefore this thought continues to stay there and show its presence. But the moment we shift its attention on the self, or it happens, the I thought also goes away, and the object, what was the object? Again it was I. That also goes away. So meaning the thought goes away and the self remains, the I remains. And who is the I? The self. But now this knowledge is taking place without a thought, not through a thought. So it is not an indirect knowledge. It is a direct knowledge. Suppose there is sugar, I know sugar, I think, I know it is sweet, it is all information. But once the sugar is no longer separate from me, how it is no longer separate from me? I eat it. It becomes one with me. Now it is direct knowledge. There is no separation between me and the object called the sugar. Exactly the same way. The I was contemplating on I through various thoughts. The last thought that is left is I. I am me. I am I. That thought also goes away. So when you eat the sugar, all the thoughts about sugar vanish the moment it becomes one with you. What it is, how it is, what is its qualities, properties, taste, everything goes away because you are experiencing it directly. This is called aparoksha anubhuti. Exactly the same way, the I is as if here the object was different. But here, in this case of self knowledge, the subject is also the I, the object is also the I. Once they both, when the objective pursuit stops, and it will only stop when the thought aspect of the I drops away. This it was, in another words, it was told, phala vyapti and vritti vyapti. Any thought which gives a result will keep you in the loop of the mind. So what is phala vyapti? Getting a result. So what is the thought? I know Louis. This is a thought. And what is the result? I am experiencing her. Vritti vyapti is where the thought itself vanishes. And what is the when is it possible that the thought itself vanishes? Take example. When you go to sleep, I want to sleep, I want to sleep, I am going to sleep, I am sleeping. It goes in and the thought of sleep goes away. What happens? Vritti vyapti. Vyapti means going away. Dissolution of the thought. Which thought? Sleep thought. Only when the dissolution of the sleep thought happens, then the sleep comes. Exactly the same way. This I, contemplating on I, is the thought, and how can the subject contemplate on the subject? In that U-turn, the final U-turn, suddenly of its own accord, without you doing anything, all you are doing is this thought that is coming in your mind on the seat of meditation, I am me. Why am I thinking I am me? Silence. That moment the thought drops away. And what is left is you alone. What is left is the knowledge of the self without the medium of thoughts. This is what is explained here. So I failed in my efforts to know my being and felt embarrassed. In embarrassment, one hides one's face, so I disappear. Who is the one who is embarrassed? The seeker, the individual, the I. And it hides its face means its hood. The individuality expresses it as a person. That person hides its face. In other words, the thought aspects hides itself. This relative I disappeared because of embarrassment to stand before the absolute I. The seer and the seen disappeared. When the wave makes an attempt to look at the ocean, that ocean itself is its nature. But when the water, and it comes to know, it's reading scriptures, I am the ocean, I am the ocean, or I am the water, I am the water. And they are saying that you are already the water, you don't know it. No, how can that be possible? I have to do sadhana, I have to do practices, I have to meditate, I have to contemplate, I have to read scriptures, the wave is saying. That's what we are doing, we are the wave. Scriptures are telling us you are already that infinite waters, that infinite ocean. The wave says, no, I have to do sadhana. And in that sadhana, thinking has become, now slowly as the time has passed, it has stopped being extroverted, it has become introverted. But even though it has become introverted, it has given up its form. It has grown out of its form, meaning it is no longer identified with its form. But the mind is still there. For who? For the wave. For who? You are sitting on the seat of meditation, you are not identified with the body. But you are still identified with the thoughts. When in extreme, just like in deep sleep, you are not identified with your body. You are totally disconnected. That's why your body becomes so heavy. Then why are you waking up? Because there is some thought which is going to wake you up. See? So, this when we are, when the wave is contemplating like this, it has to give up thinking that it is of the nature of water, because it is already water. So I have to stop thinking that I am the self, because I am already the self. Then why did we employ so much thinking? To undo the thinking. We are so addicted to thinking that we don't know how to stop it. The only way we know is death is a way to stop thinking. Nirvikalpa Samadhi or meditation, the height of meditation, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that is the way of to stop thinking. Temporary stopping thinking is when we get shocked by something, by tragedy or excitement, whatever. That time we get our mind, thinking stops, but it is temporary. But here we are trying to consciously come to a point where thinking or no thinking does not become an obsession for us. We are coming to a point where I am, the I is, in spite of thinking. This is the point we are trying to get to. See? Just like you have got to a point when you understand that I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a sister, I am a friend, all these roles, oh my God, it's too much to handle all the relationships. And then you come to realize, oh, all these relationships are only an imagination. They are only in my mind. In reality, I am not a mother, I am the woman. In reality, I am not the sister, I am the woman. In reality, I am not the daughter, I am the woman. So, you have worked it out. You will continue to do the roles, but you will not get affected by the roles if you remain as the woman. Isn't it? This much we understand. Same way, we go further. That whether thoughts are there or not there, I am the self. And this has to be experienced at least once. Once it clicks by grace, after that that's what Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying. How has his vision? It clicked to him by the grace of the teacher. Now what is his vision when he again looks out? This is his vision. Because after it has clicked, then this urge is there. I must explain to myself what happened. Isn't it? If I have tasted the sugar, now it has become my experience, what sweetness is. Now this urge is there. I have to explain to others what sugar is, or to myself also. We see a good movie, we don't stop there. We enjoy it, we come out, immediately we are talking so much about the movie and sharing it, free advertisement for everyone. To everyone. Same way, whenever there is a joy, extreme, transcendental joy experienced, you are bound to want to experience it again and also share it with others. Think, what makes you come here is that only. What makes us keep teaching this is the same thing. That joy. So here, first thing is, how do I talk to myself in my mind that what I have experienced just now, what has clicked just now, how do I interpret it in my own mind? So here he says, so I failed in my efforts to know my being and felt embarrassed. In embarrassment one hides one's face, so I disappeared. This relative I disappeared because of embarrassment to stand before the absolute I. The seer and the seen disappeared. Same thing was told, in other words, as surrender. Thus, in self realization, the individual is not realized because the individuality has disappeared. There is self realization, but there is no individual who is self realized. Understand this. So, this is what, when once it has clicked to him, when he looks at it again, because of mind will come back into, after sleep, mind again clicks back in, isn't it? You start thinking. So now after realization, after meditation, again the mind comes back into the, starts having thoughts, wants to interpret what was this meditation like, how can I recreate it. But here there is no recreation. It has happened, final. And when he looks at it again, when the mind clicks in, these are the musings of the mind. That the understanding is there is no individuality, there is no individual who gets realized. Why? Because he is dissolved. Then self alone is. In realization, individuality and totality both vanish. Now, totality also cannot exist. In unbecoming, there is no duality, no individuality, because totality alone is the reality. In totality, individuality has no significance, but without totality, individuality cannot exist. So from the ocean's point of view, from the water's point of view, there is no wave, individual wave. From the ocean's point of view also, there is no individual wave. Then what is there? I alone am. And that I alone am is a thought-free experience. It's a thought-free experience. It's a thought-free knowledge. The more one exposes oneself to the absolute silence, the more one can be in that state of unbecoming. Withdrawal from relative existence of becoming, one is stationed in the high balcony of a supreme being, from where everything is perfect as it is. So the more we give up roles, the more we give up our identity, to that extent we are coming closer to the self and eventually being the self. And once we be, when you look out, like a Mahatma, realized masters, once they know they are still in this world, then what do they look around? What do they look around? They look, because eyes are there, what can they do? What do they see? What do they hear? What do they experience? Themselves. When they see out the whole world, they see themselves. When they hear themselves. When they taste themselves. Now for them, there is no inside, I am individual, I am separate to the whole world. This experience is no longer valid for them. How is that possible? Only when you get there you will come to know. Perfection is a unified vision of all that there is, with no differences, no separation, no otherness. Just like all the limbs of the body you consider as yours. You're seeing the differences at the body level, but you are considering them as yours. You're seeing the various senses, seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, but you consider that I am the senses. All the emotions come and go, you feel you are the emotions. All the thoughts are coming and going, you don't say that they are not my thoughts. They are all coming in your mind only. This is your experience. Are they coming, are they separate to you? Are they separate to the mind? No, they are all included in the mind. Good thought, bad thoughts, whatever thoughts are coming. But here still there is a sense of difference because you are the knower and the thoughts are the known. You are the knower, the limbs are the known. You are the knower, the senses are the known. Slight, even though you have included it all in the definite, that I am all this, there is still objectivity because you can see the body, you can see the thoughts. But how does a realized master look? He takes everything as one, as perfect. There is, and therefore, a realized master does not want to change anyone. He does not want to change the world. But if in front of a realized master, a person comes, Swami, please tell me how can I do this? He'll give him an answer. For that person who has gone to the master is someone great. I am nobody, I am no one. But from the master's point of view, he is talking to himself. He is talking to himself. When a water drops on the ocean, the drop disappears. The oneness of the drop and the ocean is not because of being drop or ocean, but because of being water. In the same way, I dissolve in my own essential being. This meditative poise is maintained in all the three planes of consciousness. Okay? So all specificity vanishes. Individuality is nothing but becoming a specific in that entire homogeneous mass of reality. We have carved out an identity. It is not possible. The only reason we have carved out our identity is because our attention is on the form. And it has been rubbed into our psyche so deep that we are not. All we have to do is, with the same intensity, think of the reality. With the same intensity and faith, conviction, focus on the self, focus on the Lord, focus on the Guru within, and then the undoing starts happening. Or here the word used is unbecoming. In the same way, I dissolve my own essential being. This meditative poise is maintained in all the three planes of consciousness. And this is not only in the waking state. This is where we are talking now. But this must percolate into the dream as well as the deep sleep. Meaning, in deep sleep, what is deep sleep? The mind is absolutely silent, isn't it, in deep sleep? But you are awake. This is explained in the next OV. Hathavo vari gururaye nandavilo uvaye ze amhi na samaye amhamazi. He says, Pujniya Gurudev has not only revealed my being to me, but has also established me in the self. The experience of my being is so intense that I cannot contain within me. Therefore, this Amrutanubhava is revealed. Why is he saying this? Just now you said no support should be taken, no crutches are required. This is the journey of the self to the self. Now, why is he saying that Without the teacher, I could not have. He is the one who made me establish in the self. Why? Because if he says that I got established, if Jnaneshwar Maharaj says I got established, I got realized, who is saying? The individual. So that the hood of individuality does not arise again and again. It is being attributed to the Guru principle. It is attributed to the Lord. That it is by His grace. Grace you cannot know, yet it is always. My Guru Maharaj has taken me to that point of no return. As I told you, the Guru Maharaj, the teacher, teaches you how to put efforts first by his example and also by his teachings. Second, he teaches that by your efforts you cannot reach the destination. It is only by the grace and faith that the destination is revealed. Understand? So the teacher, Guru Maharaj, is telling us what is the goal? Self-realization. Put efforts. Control your mind. Control, make it focused. Study the scriptures. Practice regularly. Incessantly. Not morning and evening. No. You must practice to such intensity that by default 24/7 you are thinking nothing but about the reality. When you have reached this point, the teacher says, now understand that by your efforts you cannot know the reality. So you have become convinced, now understand that then the thought, it is going on that you did not take birth by your own choice, that the breathing is not happening by your own choice, the thoughts are not happening by your own choice, they are coming. Everything is going on. Whatever the situations come, they are not created by you, they are coming of their own choice. Then his vision is, so he has first put efforts, controlled the instruments, then he is told that this control was not by his own will, it was actually by the grace. That is why he was able to do it. Because as he is controlling or he is focusing or he is contemplating, sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. So the teacher tells him that whenever individuality comes, it does not click. When individuality dissolves, surrender happens, grace flows, then it clicks. So first it is told for the student to look at these things at the worldly level, at the mental level, and eventually at the final stage also. So here he says, the first stage is now it is my supreme abode, and those who reach it never return. Not only has he taken me to that abode, he has got me established there. Okay? Grace, first, it is a taste of grace. Then it is established in grace. First is taste of divinity. Whenever we are meditating, some experiences come, then you get established in it. First, a twinkling of sleep comes. You dive into sleep and again slight noise will wake you up again. Isn't it every night when we go to sleep? We have just gone to sleep and we hear someone ringing the bell. We have not gone deep into sleep. We wake up immediately. Or some noise, cut, immediately we get up. But as we are exposing ourselves to the sleep, every now and then, if it does get disturbed, but we choose not to be disturbed, we continue to surrender to the sleep. After some time, we get so deep into sleep that whatever happens around, it does not distract us. It does not distract us. Same way, with regards to the self also. The first stage is clarity of vision, but this is at the vulnerable level. It is not enduring. Through reflection, through sustained meditation, dhyana-abhyas, and through living that knowledge every moment, the knowledge gets firmly rooted and is non reversible. When it becomes non reversible, then what happens? That you cannot live your life getting involved in anything. All your activity is reminding you of that self. Your attention is not on activity. Your attention is on the self. Like when you are giving cooking, your attention is on the food. Your attention is not where what the right hand is doing, what the left hand is doing, where the legs are going. No, you are not attentive on that. Your attention is on the food. When you are studying for exams, your attention is on passing the exam and what activity entails in order for the exam to pass. That is not your primary goal. Your goal is I must pass the exam, and automatically all activity starts. Same way here also, when we have become totally clear in our mind that the self is what we want, I am, this has become absolute clarity, but it is still a objective knowledge. Only clarity is there. Abidance is not there. So here the teacher says that this is a vulnerable level. You can easily fall back into the world. Just because you have got clarity of the vision does not mean that you will remain there. You can become your attention, that clarity is there, and once that clarity comes, in order for it not to, that clarity to become hazy, we have to keep applying ourselves again and again on the clarity that we have got. And what is the clarity we got? I am the self. How do you apply to it? Apply on it? On the seat of meditation, to make it firm, to make it deep, that it's so deep that whenever you are, after some time, whenever you are moving around in the world, doing whatever is required to be done, your attention is on that self alone. See, a person who is just fallen in love, my darling, my fiancé, my beautiful one, waking, dreaming, he's only, the thought of hers only is in the mind. Whatever he is doing in the world, whether he's going to work, he's going on riding a car, driving a car, whether he's gone for a walk, whether he's eating, the clarity of vision is there in that case, the beloved, isn't it? He can't think of anyone else. All activities are taking place. He's getting up, brushing, showering, wearing clothes, eating, working, everything is happening. But his attention is on the, throughout, 24/7, by default. His attention is on the beloved. This is how Radha and the various gopis, they thought of Krishna. So this ability we also have. If we hate someone, throughout all the activities, our attention is on that person. This is the ability of the mind. With what intensity and emotion we are thinking about someone. So with what intensity and emotion and faith are we thinking about the self? And where does it become strong? On the seat of meditation.
How do you practice that in everyday life?
There is no life. Forget about life. We are talking about focusing on the self. No, where's the life? Your life is how do I interact in the world? We are saying forget about that. That will automatically take place. Your question is not about life. And when you say the word life, your attention is on the outside world. We are saying you are the life.
Well, we should stop talking
No, no, no,
Because
no, no.
honestly, I think you are. I was
No,
not
no, no, no.
talking about the outside life.
But otherwise, what was the question then? Tell me. What did you
I
mean?
said, how do you keep remembering or focusing on the self?
No, your question was, how do you practice it in the life? That was your question.
Everyday life, I've got to move around
In
the
your
world.
everyday, see, what did she say just now? You
gotta
have to
move around the
move
world.
around in the world. So where is your attention? On the outside world.
Well, I've got a funny feeling if I go around doing that, and I've always thought that since I've been coming here, that if I do that often enough, one day I'll fall over a brick and break my nose.
That is because your attention is still on the world. You don't trust that the Lord will take care of you.
Oh dear, all right. Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, I do.
See, at one level you agree, but the intellect says no. I think I must retain control. I must be on top of everything that is taking place. I don't want to give up. This is the fear. Have the great masters not lived like that and they are still fine? So as long as I want to retain control, then this feeling will be there that how do I practice it in life? Now this person has come to a point that he has realized, and for him there is no life anymore. He is the life. There is nothing else separate to him. The world is him. But we are saying that from his point of view, I alone am. There is no separation between he and the world. See, think in the context where we are. There is no difference. He is talking about his state of realization. He is not talking about from the point of individuality. Through reflection, through sustained meditative practice, and what you are doing on meditation, you are just being the self. You are being the self. Your attention is on the self. The knowledge gets firmly rooted, and once it gets firmly rooted, it's no longer, it is non-reversible. Non-reversible means that is when you take sannyas. You become a good-for-nothing fellow. What do you mean by good-for-nothing fellow? Now nothing interests you in the world. You are not concerned about food, you are not concerned about your body, you are not concerned about your relations, you are not concerned about the world. Why? Because the mind has totally become one-pointed on the self. Nothing else matters. People misunderstand. It's okay. And that's why usually at this point people go into silence somewhere. Nobody is disturbing. See, it's not that they are running away from life. They want to discover life in a new way. They want to discover. See, what is our fear? Our fear is of death, isn't it? That one day this body will die. And what are we trying to do? What are we discovering in spirituality? That I am deathless. So having come to this point where we are in this text, there is no question of fear. And to come to establish in that, he has to do what is, it will automatically pull him. Forget about anything else that you have to do. No, it will pull him in that direction. This is called Dharma Megha Samadhi by Panchadashikara. In this, the seeker gets stabilized in the truth again and again and again and again. During this meditation, there comes a point when by the grace of the Guru, one gets sucked in. Just like in deep sleep, the sleep sucks your mind into itself. No more thoughts are there. Similarly, on the seat of meditation, your mind gets sucked away. All duality, all differences, all sense of otherness. And where is that otherness and differences? In the world. All of that gets sucked away into that one homogeneous mass of consciousness. Both these steps to be exposed to the knowledge and to be then established in it are possible only by the grace of Guru. Understanding is one thing, knowing the path is one thing, destination is one thing, but being is another, and it happens only by the grace. The Guru is not an individual, he is the eternal truth, always has been and will always be, and he is always everywhere. The devotion to the Guru should be like Bhakta Suradasa. He challenged Bhagwan Krishna, you can pull out your hand from mine and run away. Try to get out of my heart, let me see. Same thing is ours. What keeps us still interested in spiritual, the scriptures, is it has gone deep into our heart and mind. Even if someone says, I cannot do anything else, I'll keep teaching. Even if I have to teach to that cat, I'll teach her. Because that is an opportunity for me to express. That is an opportunity for me to remember. Again and again, why do we do satsangs? Again and again expose our mind to the truth. Not as a concept, but as it is. And in this way, the truth is gained by him who chooses the truth alone. And when you are choosing the truth alone, then there is no question of individuality, there is no question of the world, there is no question of the practice, there is no question of any damn thing in this world. The only thought is truth, and that's it. And what is that truth? The self. Then how, why, when, where, but, all this, kick it out of the system. No place for it. No place for any questions. Because you are the answer, and you are looking for it in the mind. It is not possible. Mind will keep coming up with 1,000 more questions and ask for 1,000 more answers. But the answer was ever, and you are that. That total uncompromising faith is Guru Sharanagati, means the surrender to the Guru principle. What is the greatness and glory of the Guru who has brought me to this destination? The only joy that can be shared effortlessly and without reason, with no trace of regret or guilt, is the joy of the infinite. See the words that Swamiji has used so succinctly. The only joy that can be shared effortlessly and without reason. It is not a cause and effect. It is not a result of a logic. Logic is cause and effect. With no trace of regret or guilt. It is not a memory which you have lost now. It is not an experience which has come and gone. It is a continuous abidance as I, as the self. Is the joy of the infinite. This experience of the glory of being one's own being is so intense that I just could not hold it within myself. I had to share it, and thus was born Amrutanubhava. It flowed out of me as an expression of this overpowering joy of eternal being. And that is what we see when great masters, when they get into this state of, state of realization, that's when the beautiful songs, bhajans come out of them, beautiful poetry comes out of them. See? And they're all heart-touching compositions. You listen, just a simple, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, it came from the mouth of Krishna at a particular moment. He had not planned that, in my head Bhagavad Gita is there and one day I have to give it to someone. A particular situation came, Arjuna was there, and it happened. Because he is ever established in himself. Take Shankaracharya, he is ever established in himself. The situation came, what was the situation? That someone, one untouchable, was touching him, was moving in a very narrow street, with the 4 dogs. And he said, move away, move away. He says, what are you telling to move away? What are you telling? Who are you telling to move away? No, no, don't dirty me. I'm clean, you're dirty. You're uncouth. He says, if you are telling this body to go away, this body and your body is made up of the same material. Fecal matter, pus, blood, urine, etc., etc. Your body is also. So you move away. Why should I move away? I will go. And if you are telling this soul to move away, then soul is not the body. Soul is immaculate. The spirit is immaculate. So then tell me, my friend, that untouchable, uneducated, uncouth fellow, he is telling Shankaracharya, tell me, who are you telling to move away? At that very moment, Shankaracharya realized that a great master is standing in front of me, and a beautiful composition of Manisha Panchakam came out of him. 5 verses came out. There and then they came out. Another time he was walking. These are beautiful. This is how the truth expresses. Vivek Chudamani, you must have all heard, that is by Shankaracharya. Saundarya Lahari, that is by Shankaracharya. It is not that he planned. Surdas, who was a blind fellow, Surdas was a blind fellow by birth, but he has made such beautiful compositions in of offering his love for the Lord. Unbelievable. Tulsidas, he has studied Ramayana, he has studied the scriptures, Upanishads, etc. But this urge out of him to make an offering to the Lord. And what was the offering? He composed the Ramayana in the local language, and it is so full of devotion. The original Ramayana is very logical, whereas Tulsidas Ramayana is full of love and devotion and the 9 rasas. See? So this is what happens, and this Amrutanubhava has come not as a result of contemplation, it has not come as a result of logic, it has not come as a result of study, it has come as a result of the realization, and that realization, see, whenever there is joy in our heart, we want to express it. I told you before. And this is how Jnaneshwar Maharaj is expressing his joy. See? So we'll continue from here onwards in our next class.
We don't have class for 2 weeks.
Now 2 weeks, no class. So I'll come back on the 5th. I'll come back on the 28th, but the next class will be on the 5th of March. Huh? Sunday, first Sunday of March. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. बोलो ज्ञानेश्वर महाराज की जय, निवृत्तिनाथ महाराज की जय.